Hello and welcome back. We are slowly approaching the closing of the Nakshatra series and the end of the zodiac. So today will be a good day to talk about Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. These are souls incarnated from Markab. I am Sophia, and I'll be taking you through the final leg of Aquarius bridging into Pisces. The theme of this nakshatra is time staring back at you. And it is also described as unbridled fire. Strange because we don't really associate fire with Aquarius or Pisces. Let's understand why. Years ago, the James Webb Telescope captured an image of the universe that puzzled scientists. Upon decoding that image, they discovered that the lens had captured both old and new galaxies in space. This perplexed them, as the expanding universe should have revealed only newer galaxies. Baffled by this discovery, scientists concluded that infinity was in fact up for debate. In simpler terms, we were looking back in time and observing galaxies that seemingly had no business being there. This embodies the essence of Purva Bhadrapada, symbolized by a two-faced man, simultaneously gazing forward and backward. Purva Bhadrapada is arguably the most misunderstood nakshatra in existence. This misunderstanding stems from the inability to categorize these natives, who often struggle to understand themselves. They neither win nor lose, existing in a state of paradoxical non-existence while being alive. Purva Bhadrapada is symbolized by the front legs of a funeral cot and the sacrificial fire. While this imagery may seem grim, decoding this nakshatra is akin to gazing into the naked universe. It is here that the human ego is reduced to fine dust. Moreover, natives of this nakshatra have the ability to burn other people's egos by creating mirror images of them. But we'll talk more about that later. Now, where does this fire come from? This nakshatra is blessed by Jupiter's intellect, and the deity is a one-footed goat or dragon even. They are known for their Kundalini power. These natives can access a person's Akashic records simply by observing their lives as if they're looking at points on a graph. Before you've even greeted them, they've already figured you out. But try not to think of this as an invasion of your privacy, because being born under this nakshatra is no easy feat, as we'll soon discover why. This phenomenon aligns with the spiritual law of one. You encounter only those individuals with whom you have unfinished business. So a Purva Bhadrapada native incarnated on this planet for one purpose alone: to sacrifice. As the final nakshatra before the cosmic needle ticks into the universal oceans of Pisces, it serves as a bridge between the material and spiritual realms. These natives bear the weighty responsibility of manifesting all of their desires and serving humanity, and then immolating all of their possessions on the sacrificial altar before swiftly disappearing into liberation. So, these natives lead intense lives. They have no patience for superficiality. They love deeply, but their losses hit them even harder. Yet, they always find a way forward, because within them burns the seed of the densest singularity, causing them to perceive life as a simulation a perspective that, while potentially miserable, will endure the test of time. The early years of their lives are often fraught with discomfort. By adulthood, these natives have typically experienced either immense grief or even fame, or a wild combination of both, which can somehow seem worse. The ultimate goal is to align them, which later becomes their superpower: self-awareness. They understand something that other people don't. They possess the ability to perceive both past and future simultaneously. This nakshatra is located at 20 degrees 0 minutes of Aquarius and 3 degrees 20 minutes of Pisces. They understand that fear, hope, good and bad are merely constructs. We enter this lifetime to play roles, exchange energetic currency, and depart for our next performance. This understanding makes them the wisest among all within their relationships. They make for excellent scientists and astrologers. If you engage with a native of this nakshatra, beware. Just when you believe you've grasped their essence, they morph into something else. Like an ever-changing Rubik's Cube, they will frustrate, excite, and transform you into unimaginable ways. What they're truly doing is creating a mirror image of you. As you get to know them deeper, you'll realize that you're looking back at yourself. Their ultimate desire is to see themselves reflected through you. Because when you see your ego reflected back at you, you'll either love it or you'll hate it. They can do this because they can empty themselves sufficiently enough to live the lives of anyone they choose. Sounds dangerous. But with exceptionally sharp memories, they become you. That's how they know you. And that's how they know themselves. And so they can experience countless lifetimes within one alone. Ruled by Jupiter and lorded by Aja Akapada, the one-footed goat or the one-footed dragon, this represents the most formidable incarnation of a soul on earth. They are here to balance the scales of karma on one foot alone. Rahu, that rules Aquarius, plays a crucial role in their evolution. Rahu, that rules Aquarius, plays a crucial role in their evolution, twisting the simulation to the will of the galactic center. We are all prisoners of time after all. So, learning about the shadow of everything becomes the moral obligation of this native. Here, Jupiter and the dragon, which is Rahu and Ketu, join forces, raging across our solar system and burning everything in their path. Like fusing metals, they bridge the material and spiritual planes together. Natives are also drawn to fire and do not view death as a final destination. Curiously, fire rituals and cemeteries evoke feelings of home within them. This is what makes them formidable. Because can you think to negotiate with someone who has nothing to lose? They enter your life like a lightning strike to a field. But this energy is all-encompassing. Lightning interacts with water, air, earth, and ether to create a charge of immense Kundalini Shakti that strikes the planet. So they can excel in any career that captures their interest. Utilizing the full potential of their left and their right brains, they quickly learn the quirks of any system, dismantling them within days. Then they move on to the next thing. because they get bored quite easily. This is also where their struggles start. You can never really know what they're thinking. They're unpredictable, and consistency is something they would do really well to develop within themselves. Unfortunately for them, they are still alive. The curse of needing an identity in the 3D plane leads them into tricky places. Subconsciously, they seek out individuals with big egos, which eventually turns against them, forcing them to scramble to establish boundaries. Once they become self-assured, they can amass great wealth and recognition. However, they prefer to keep their gains quiet. These are your secret millionaires, or authors of legacy novels from obscure islands. They may have large families, multiple homes, and an insatiable appetite for Jupiterian travel. They could be sages meditating in the Himalayan caves, vibrating on dimensions invisible to the naked eye. So from the shrewdest businessmen to religious fanatics, they all coexist under the spectrum of Purva Bhadrapada. They navigate this 3D plane as needed, making themselves visible for a cause before withdrawing their energy. Their energy is quite destructive, yet people in their orbits crave them intensely when they're gone. Because this native was their only taste of true spiritual wilderness. Eventually, all that these natives earn is freely given away or burned as if it never existed in the first place. Have you heard of stories of people abandoning their life's work to live in remote villages? This is the authentic expression of the wild Aquarian becoming a reclusive Piscean. Let's now understand the secrets of Markab, the fixed star associated with Purva Bhadrapada. Soaring through the cosmic tapestry of Pegasus, the winged horse of Greek mythology, eternally immortalized among the stars, at the heart of this grand constellation lies a gem, known as Markab, also known as Alpha Pegasi. Despite its prestigious Alpha designation, Markab plays the role of the humble third wheel in the Pegasus stellar lineup. It's outshone by its celestial siblings, like Enif and Sheat. Yet, it holds its own with a respectable brightness that catches the eye of stargazers worldwide. But Markab is more than just a point of light. This star blazes at a staggering temperature that would make even the sun break a sweat. Yet, despite its fiery nature, Markab maintains an air of mystery. It sits at a distance of 133 light years away from Earth, close enough to be visible to the naked eye, yet far enough to remind us that the vast, unexplored depths of space that lie beyond. Natives of the star consume to be consumed. After encountering some difficult experiences which leave them more confused than ever, they develop hard shells as protection. And like black holes, no one can see the singularity anymore. They project everything back at you as it is. This is where they can be cruel, because they are finally the ones who are laughing. These natives crave the divine like addicts crave heroin. They are homesick, and they'll jump into the funeral pyre head first should it relieve them of their misery. They know that they are masters of universes much grander than this one. In earlier years, when they are quietly hurting, they would rather watch the world burn as they do on the inside. But as they transition into their Piscean selves, they realize something remarkable. The world was never broken in the first place, and that humanity doesn't need fixing. Time on higher planes does not exist. because space-time converges onto itself. So you were able to see galaxies from the onset of the Big Bang. So these beings extract just enough information, exchange just enough energy to balance these cosmic scales. And once they have figured out the secrets of time, it humbles them. Also, it gets rather boring to play with. So I really hope you enjoyed this podcast on Purva Bhadrapada. Thanks for listening, and I will see you very soon.